What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we've got 3 absolutely massive stories today that you cannot miss. Gooners, Arsenal have made a major move in the transfer market, and it could have serious implications for Gabriel Jesus' future at the club. According to Spanish outlet Sport, who are considered reliable, Arsenal are the most interested club in Levante striker Carl Ayong. And here's the kicker, Barcelona have already had an offer rejected for him. Arsenal have leapfrogged the Catalan giants in this race. Ayong is having a breakthrough season for Levante. The 22-year-old Cameroonian international has scored 5 goals and registered 1 assist in just 9 La Liga appearances this season. Those are serious numbers, and top clubs across Europe have been paying attention. Transfermarkt value him at €20 million, roughly £17.7 million. But here's the interesting part. The plan would reportedly be for Arsenal to sign Ayong in January before loaning him back to Levante for the rest of the season. So Arsenal would secure him now, let him continue developing at Levante, and then integrate him into the squad next summer. That's smart business if it happens. But now let's talk about the Gabriel Jesus situation, because there's a controversial report from Spanish outlet Fichajes claiming that Mikel Arteta wants Jesus out. This would open the door for a romantic return to Palmeiras in the January transfer window. Now, I need to be clear here. Fichajes isn't the most reliable outlet, so take these claims with a massive pinch of salt. Arteta always speaks highly of Jesus, despite his injury woes. Just recently, Arteta said Jesus is unpredictable, full of energy, super competitive, and that the level of hunger and desire he'll bring to the team will be amazing. Those don't sound like the words of a manager who wants a player out, do they? But here's why this story has legs. Jesus himself has been open about his future. In a recent interview, he said it wouldn't make sense to leave Arsenal now, but he admitted that he dreams of returning to Palmeiras one day. That's not exactly a long-term commitment to Arsenal. Jesus is 28 years old. He's been out all season with a serious knee injury, and he could be available for selection again in early January. If Arsenal are planning to sign Ayong and potentially other attackers, you have to wonder where Jesus fits into the long-term picture. Everton are understood to be keeping tabs on his situation as well, as revealed by Team Talk transfer insider Dean Jones back in October. So there's Premier League interest if Arsenal decide to sell. Look, I don't think Arteta actively wants Jesus out. But if the right offer comes in, if Jesus himself wants to return to Brazil, and if Arsenal have already secured a replacement in Ayong, then maybe a January exit isn't as crazy as it sounds. We'll have to see how this develops, but Arsenal beating Barcelona to Ayong is significant news, regardless of what happens with Jesus. Now let's talk about Rodrygo, because Arsenal legend Gilberto Silva has just backed the Gunners to make a move for the Real Madrid winger, and he's using some very strong language to describe just how good Rodrygo is. Rodrygo was heavily linked with Arsenal in the summer transfer window, but the move never materialized. Since then, his situation at Real Madrid has only gotten worse. He's played just over 450 minutes of football in all competitions this season. He's started only 3 games and is clearly out of favour under Xabi Alonso. Arsenal insider exclusively revealed recently that Rodrygo is back on Arsenal's radar, and now Gilberto has publicly endorsed the potential signing. Speaking to TalkSport, Gilberto said, "I know him and we've met a couple of times, but I don't know his situation with Arsenal. At the beginning of the season, I thought it would be fantastic to have Rodrygo at the club." He continued, "It is clear he will not have much of an opportunity to play under Xabi Alonso at Madrid, but he's a great player with real talent, which is a waste if he is on the bench. He's got the ability to perform not only from the left side, but in other positions across the forward line as well." Then Gilberto dropped this line, "Should Arsenal go in for him? Why not? If he's not happy and there is an opportunity to increase the strength of the squad, then we can try and get him." So one of Arsenal's greatest ever players is saying the club should absolutely go for Rodrygo if the opportunity is there. That carries weight. But Gilberto also raised an important question. Where would Rodrygo fit? He said, "Maybe a few years ago, it would have been much easier to find a good player to fit that Arsenal squad. However, nowadays, even if you are a good player, it's not so easy to find a starting place in this current team." And that's the crux of the issue, isn't it? Arsenal signed Noni Madueke and Eberechi Eze in the summer, and they've both been excellent. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard have all delivered this season as well. So where does Rodrygo slot in? Is he better than what Arsenal already have? And more importantly, is he worth the massive transfer fee and wages Real Madrid would demand? Here's where the Jude Bellingham quote comes in. Bellingham, Rodrygo's Real Madrid teammate, once said that Rodrygo is more talented than Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. and every other player at Real Madrid. That's an absolutely insane statement, but it shows how highly rated Rodrygo is by people who work with him every day. In the summer, Rodrygo would have been a statement signing for Arsenal, a Champions League winner, a proven performer at the highest level, someone who can play across the entire front line. But now, with Madueke and Eze already here and performing well, the argument against signing Rodrygo is pretty straightforward. He'll cost a fortune in transfer fees and wages. There's no guarantee he'll start ahead of the players Arsenal already have, and at 24 years old, he's not exactly a long-term investment for the future. But the argument for signing him is equally strong. He's world-class on his day, he's got Champions League pedigree, he can provide depth and competition that pushes everyone to improve, and if he's available on loan or at a reduced fee because Real Madrid want to move him on, it could be a low-risk, high-reward opportunity. Personally, I think if Arsenal can get Rodrygo on loan in January, they should absolutely do it. No massive financial commitment, we get to see if he fits the system, and if it works out, maybe we make it permanent in the summer. If it doesn't work out, he goes back to Madrid and we've lost nothing. But a permanent transfer for big money? I'm not so sure about that given the squad depth we already have. Alright Gooners, let's finish with the best news of the day. Bukayo Saka's contract situation is moving forward and everything we're hearing is incredibly positive. According to Football Insider, Arsenal are in advanced talks with both Saka and Jurrien Timber over new contracts. Journalist Pete O'Rourke is insisting that the club is confident of striking full agreements. Soon O'Rourke explained, Arsenal are working on contracts for some of their key players, the likes of Bukayo Saka and Jurrien Timber, as they want to get them tied down. Those talks are going well and they are confident they can reach an agreement soon. A recent report claimed that Saka has a verbal agreement over a record-breaking extension. We're talking about a deal that would make him one of the highest-paid players in Arsenal's history, and rightfully so. But here's the really important part. Fabrizio Romano, the most reliable transfer journalist in the world, has revealed what Saka actually wants for his future. And it's exactly what Arsenal fans want to hear. Romano said, "We can't predict the future, but that is the intention." Saka and Arsenal are very happy together, also for the long term. Earlier this week, Romano claimed that Saka wants to stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career, with the player and club aligned on this desire. Let me repeat that. Bukayo Saka wants to stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career. This isn't about getting one more big contract and then moving to Real Madrid or Barcelona. This is about building a legacy at Arsenal, winning trophies in red and white, and becoming a club legend. Saka is 24 years old, he's already one of the best wingers in world football, and he's entering his prime years. If Arsenal can tie him down to a long-term contract now, we're securing one of our most important players for potentially the next decade. In recent months, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri have all signed new deals. The club is systematically locking down their key players, building for sustained success rather than quick fixes. And Saka is the crown jewel of that strategy. He's homegrown, he's world-class, he loves the club, and he wants to stay. That's everything Arsenal could ask for. The fact that talks are going well and the club is confident of reaching an agreement is massive. This isn't a situation where Saka's camp is making unreasonable demands or dragging things out. Both sides want the same thing, which is for Saka to spend his entire career at Arsenal. When this deal gets announced, and I believe it will soon, it's going to be one of the most important contract extensions in Arsenal's modern history. Saka is irreplaceable, and keeping him at the club for the rest of his career should be the #1 priority. So there you have it, Gooners. What do you think, Gooners? Should Arsenal sign Etta Ayong and potentially sell Jesus? Do you want Rodrygo at Arsenal? And how excited are you about Saka wanting to retire here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an Arsenal update. Until next time, Gooners.